All right, guys, in today's video, we're going to be talking about everything that you need to be doing in order to be a profitable day trader, okay? I see a lot of people half-ass their trading and also just half-assing things in their life. And they ask themselves why they aren't profitable in trading, okay? I'm not saying to go 100% in everything that you do in your life, right? Because there are trivial things where you don't need to put in all your effort. But what I'm saying is it is a horrible trait to not be 100% committed, 100% all in things that are important to you in life, right? Things that you want to do in life, okay? And for you guys that are watching this video, you guys understand that trading for you is something very important to you in your life, right? For example, my students in my Discord, right? I have them write down all their goals that they want to achieve, okay? And then they have these big dreams like, oh, I want to buy my dad my dream car. I want to hit my first 5-figure month, drop out of college, move to a different state. I want to buy a house. I want to do all of these crazy things, right? But then I look into each one of these people and, during our calls, and I see that their trading isn't reflecting what they've put down in their goals, right? It's not reflecting the type of trading that you need to do, the type of discipline, the type of person you actually need to be in order to achieve all these big goals that they're talking about, okay? Now, I want you to ask yourself this, okay? If your trading isn't going that well right now, I want you to ask yourself this, all right? First, look at yourself and ask if what you're doing right now is in trading is a accurate reflection of what you want to be in 5 years, 2 years, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 10 years, all right? Is your trading right now, is what you're doing in the markets on a daily basis an accurate reflection of who you want to be in life, right? In X amount of years, all right? If the answer is no, I want you to get down to the exact root problem of what is going wrong and what is actually stopping you from becoming the person that you want to be in 5, 10 years, okay? I know a lot of you guys also have goals written down. So I want you to compare your trading to the goals that you've written down. A lot of you guys try to find some sort of workaround, some sort of excuse to avoid the main problem that you're actually dealing with, right? And the reason behind this is because you're so fucking scared. You're so scared to actually deal with the root problem of why you've been unprofitable for X amount of time that you have been, okay? Even if you are just starting out trading, all right? You will go through a point where you need to maybe come back and watch this video and realize that, damn, what he's saying is absolutely right? This is exactly what I am going through right now, and there is no other way to get around it by actually facing the root of your problem, okay? So many of you guys, even with me, right? This was me as well, all right? Back in 2024, early 2024, where I didn't know what the fuck I was doing, and I knew the actual problem that I was facing, but I didn't want to fix it because it took a lot of work, right? It wasn't something that I wanted to do because I felt enjoyment in doing it. And the thing that I felt enjoyment in doing for me was gambling, okay? I don't even have any sort of addictive personality in my life, all right? I don't do drugs, I don't smoke, I don't do nicotine, I don't do any of that shit, okay? I don't even go out to parties, okay? But when I got introduced to trading, I found my addiction, and that was gambling, okay? 2024, 2023 even. That shit was absolutely fucking brutal. I used to blow 5, 10 evaluations in a day, bro. In a day, okay? And that was when I was working as a referee. I was getting, bi-weekly paychecks, and as soon as that paycheck hit, I'd put it into evals, all right? Because I'd always tell myself, bro, all I need to do is just pass this eval. Once I get onto the funded stage, I'm going to lock in, bro. I swear, I promise. And then every time, after the fucking 25th past eval or the 25th attempt to pass my eval, and I finally passed it on the 26th try. I got to that funded stage. It used to be blown in 2 days. Okay, yes, maybe I was a little bit more disciplined than I was on an eval, but it doesn't fucking matter because I built those stupid habits that I built, right? I built those stupid habits when I was on the eval stage to where it carried over onto the funded stage, all right? And a lot of you guys deal with this issue. And what is the best way to solve it? It's so simple. Deal with the root of your problem. And the root of your problem is not gambling, all right? Not doing something that you would do that you wouldn't do on an XFA, on a funded account, okay? Prop firms, they play such a big psychological game on you where they have rebuilds, okay? Where if you don't pass your account in 1 month, your account gets rebuild, the same amount that you paid the first time, okay? And I see a lot of people, in my chats, in my Discords, in my comments, they're saying that, I'm up X amount of money, I'm so close to passing the account, but my account is going to be rebuild. What should I do? Should I full port? The fact that you're already saying that shows that the prop firms are winning, right? The moment you do something stupid like that, just full porting when you're already up, like 29 days straight, okay? 29 days straight of taking good trades, and that month is about to roll over, and you're on that last day, and if you decide to do something stupid, it's going to wipe away all the progress that you've made in those 29 days, okay? What you need to realize is that you're not focusing on the outcome. The outcome doesn't matter, okay? The results don't matter. As long as you're doing everything that it needs to take. I'll also talk about this later on. Everything that you need to do to be a profitable trader. As long as you are trading like a profitable trader, don't worry about anything else outside of that, all right? Because you are profitable at that moment when you are trading like a profitable trader, okay? All the results, all the outcome that you're desiring, it will come if you just fucking stick to a system, if you stick to your rules. I promise you, right? I'm living proof of it. And not only me, you see all these people, all your favorite influencers, all your favorite people that you watch, right? The reason why they're profitable is because they were able to just be disciplined, they were able to be consistent, and they did not care about not only their account status, they didn't care about their whenever they were going to get rebuild, they didn't care about being so close to a payout and just forcing a trade to get that last winning day to secure their payout, all right? They didn't care about any of that stuff. All they did was hop on the charts every single day, see if their setup was there. If it was there, they execute. If not, they move on with their day. That is the biggest trait any profitable trader should have, all right? And a lot of other people will tell you the same thing. Now, going on to talking about what actually you need to be doing to be a profitable trader, okay? A lot of people say this. I will say this as well. Again, because there isn't really much else you should be doing to be a profitable trader, okay? Backtest, journal. These are the only two things that you need to be doing. And also, maybe a third thing is not 9 to 5ing the fucking charts, okay? I feel like a lot of you guys have a horrible habit of trading AM, trading PM, trading Asia, doing all this bullshit thinking that if you put in more trades, you're going to get more profits, okay? Again, I'm just reiterating everything that everybody else has been saying on this platform, okay? But I want to also give you guys a little bit more insight of what you need to be doing when you're backtesting, what you need to be doing when you're journaling, right? A lot of people just say this stuff, but they don't actually tell you what you need to be doing and the process that you should be taking in order to see actual success, okay? Just backtesting and just taking random trades, taking not the highest quality setups that you can ever find, okay? That is not backtesting. That is just gambling, okay? If you're taking trades even in your backtesting that don't fit with the model, don't fit with the system that you've learned from somebody else or that you've developed on your own, Tell me why you collecting data on these random trades is going to be a live reflection of you trading in the markets, okay? You see your win rate. You see your average risk to reward. You need to be treating backtesting like it's something sacred, all right? I know a lot of people hate backtesting. I know a lot of people on this platform, they shit on backtesting. They say, no, you should be collecting live market data. You should not be backtesting. Once you've already built your strategy, you shouldn't be backtesting anymore. Okay, this is true to an extent, but this is not always true. This will not always forever hold, okay? Even right now, me as a profitable trader, what I do, I still journal. I still backtest, okay? Do I backtest as often as I did maybe a year ago, a year and a half ago when I was unprofitable? I'll admit, no, I don't. But I still keep myself in the bubble where I'm still, actively remembering that, my edge can fade over time, okay? If I stay complacent, I'm going to be comfortable. And when I become comfortable, things don't go well. I've learned that lesson as well in March. February was my best trading month ever. I had my first 50K month in March. I lost not only $75,000 in profits on my XFAs, but I also lost $10,000 of my own money just by fucking rage. Just pure rage. Just pure rage that I blew $75,000 worth of profits in March in one day. One single day. I still remember it. I was in class. I was in college. Pre-market. 8:30 a.m. I saw price was going down. I needed to secure 3 winning days. 3 winning days to take another $25,000 payout. And I saw price going down and I ended up shorting. Okay. And I end up fucking bottom ticking and price reverses. And that's when the cycle started. All right. That's when the revenge trading started because, I let it run a little bit more than it was supposed to. Goes down $750. I close. I open a new position, down even more. And then by the time you know it, I'm down $15,000 on all my accounts, on all 5 of my accounts. So that gets me to down $75,000 and all my accounts are blown. And I'm just sitting there. I'm sitting there like a fucking retard, like a dumbass, staring at my screen, asking myself, why did I do what I just did? All right. And if you want that to be you, okay, obviously, yes, that's a lesson to learn. After that, I had the best summer ever, okay? I did $125,000 in payouts from one prop firm in 2.5 months, okay? Yes, I bounced back from it, okay? But some of you guys will experience the most drastic thing that you think you may have experienced in trading, and you feel like there is no way to come out of it, right? You just give up. And that mindset alone will never, ever get you profitable, all right? And that is just the honest reality, okay? But the reason why I'm saying this, the reason why I just told you that story is because I got complacent in March, okay? I thought I was able to keep up whatever I was doing, the past months, right? February I did 50K. January I did 20K. I had like back-to-back 20K months, all right? And it was the time of my life, right? That was the absolute peak of my trading at that time. And I thought, all I needed to do was secure some winning days, just take random trades that didn't follow my model. All I needed was $200, right? It's not that big of a deal. But one fucking day can change it all right? One trade, one mistake, one wrong gamble, because that was what I was doing, all right? I was gambling $200 because when price was close to liquidity, I just short, right? Or I would long, I do some bullshit. There was no actual entry trigger behind my trades at that time because I was so eager to get that payout, right? The moment you lose those type of trades, right? The moment you lose those type of gambling trades, something that doesn't follow your model, something that doesn't follow your system, that's when it starts, okay? A lot of you guys don't end up revenge trading because you lost a trade that followed your system, okay? The main reason behind revenge trading is due to the fact that you take a stupid ass trade that doesn't follow your system, that doesn't follow your model, and it is purely based off of emotions. And once you take that loss, because obviously you don't know the probabilities behind the trade, right? Once you take that loss, you end up spiraling, and that's when accounts end up getting blown most of the time, right? And that was the main problem with me. I had a profitable strategy. I still have a profitable strategy as well. But the moment I try to do something that doesn't fall in accordance with my model, the moment I take a loss that doesn't follow my model, I end up crashing out. Because once you start placing those executions back to back, what you're thinking in your head is, damn, bro, why did I take that first trade? I need to make it back. I shouldn't have even traded today. And what does that cause? Again, it ends up in you either being very, very red on the day or you just blowing the account. Most of the time it ends in you blowing the account, all right? And this is why it is so important to journal, okay? Now going into more in depth of how you should be journaling, all right? People will just tell you, yes, you just journal your entries and then just go on with your day, okay? No, you need to be doing more than just that, all right? Not only journaling your entries, but you should also be reflecting on your entries, reflecting on your journal, whether that be a daily basis, whether that be a weekly basis. I prefer a daily basis, okay? All it takes is that after you journal your entry, right when you take the trade, obviously you hop off the charts, okay? You hop off the charts after you take a trade, you do whatever that you need to do in your day, and then after that, you hop back on, right, onto your journal, maybe before it's going to bed. Maybe when you just have a bit of free time in the same day, check your entry that you put in earlier in the day during market open and actually reflect on your emotions, right? Maybe go back onto the charts, reanalyze the trade that you took for the day, okay? Once you've done that, that is a valid journal entry, not just you putting some not random, right? Obviously, you're still putting in your trade, but not you just putting in your entry and then just never looking at it again. That is the same thing as not journaling. You're just doing extra steps for no reason. If you're not actively reflecting on the trades that you're taking and the emotions that you're feeling while you're in a trade, you're not actually journaling, all right? And yeah, I basically covered what you need to be doing. The only two things you need to be doing, right? Backtesting and journaling. And yes, I did also mention, not being on the charts for that long, all right? Not trading every single session. But that is pretty self-explanatory, right? Because that also directly relates to backtesting, okay? You're backtesting one session usually, which is usually New York AM session or sometimes New York PM session. You see your setups form in those two sessions, but you still want to do some bullshit like wait till Asia open in the live markets and then see if you can see your setup in there. What is the point in that? Do you have data collected on that? No. So why the fuck are you on during that session? You have to ask yourself that. And obviously the answer is simple, because you want to be making money, right? You're so greedy. You're so attached to the P&L because you don't give a fuck about yourself. You don't give a fuck about people around you. You don't give a fuck about the goals that you've set for yourself, right? All you care about in the moment is trying to squeeze a little bit of money from the market, right? And the longer you keep yourself in this loop, the longer it will take to become profitable. Actually, no, you won't even become profitable, and you know that yourself. So you have to ask yourself, what the fuck are you going to do about it?